Hey everyone, and welcome back to Pink English.
Hi, everyone. We are so excited to learn with you today.
I'm Sophia, and this is Daniel. Our goal is to make English easy and fun for you.
Exactly. If you enjoy our lessons, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really supports the channel.
Today, we are talking about daily routine.
We will practice listening, learn key words and phrases, and boost your confidence. Ready? Let's dive in.
I am really excited about this topic, Daniel. I feel like talking about your daily routine is one of the first things you have to do when you meet new people. It is such a common conversation starter.
It really is. It sounds simple, but there's actually so much vocabulary hidden inside our everyday habits. And honestly, Sophia, are you a creature of habit? Do you like having a strict schedule?
That is a great expression, a creature of habit. That means someone who likes to do the same things in the same way every day. To answer your question, yes, I definitely am. I feel much more productive when I have a clear plan. What about you? Are you structured, or do you prefer to go with the flow?
I wish I was more structured. I try to be organized, but sometimes my mornings are a little chaotic. That's actually why I'm looking forward to this lesson. I think learning the vocabulary for a perfect routine might help me actually build one.
That is a wonderful motivation. You know, psychologists say that building a routine in English can actually help you learn the language faster. If you narrate your day in English while you're doing it, your brain gets used to thinking in the target language.
That makes sense. So instead of thinking about making coffee in my native language, I should think to myself, I am brewing coffee now.
Exactly. It turns your whole life into a language classroom. So we're going to walk through a typical day, step by step. We'll start from the moment you open your eyes and go all the way to work and productivity.
That sounds perfect. I think we should start with the hardest part of the day for many people, the morning.
I agree. The morning sets the tone for everything else. So, Daniel, why don't you get us started with the first phase of the day?
With pleasure. Okay, listeners, close your eyes and imagine it's 6 o'clock in the morning. The room is dark. Suddenly, you hear a loud noise. That is your alarm.
I hate that sound, but it is necessary. Let's look at that word, alarm. A-L-A-R-M. An alarm is a device or a sound that warns you or wakes you up.
Right. And when that alarm goes off, you have two choices. You can get up or you can hit the snooze button. Let's spell that. Snooze. S-N-O-O-Z-E.
I think snooze is one of the most dangerous buttons in the world. When you hit snooze, the alarm stops for about 5 or 10 minutes, allowing you to sleep a little bit longer. Daniel, are you a snoozer?
I am definitely a snoozer. Sometimes I hit it 3 times. The problem is when I finally wake up, I feel groggy.
That is a fantastic word. Groggy. G-R-O-G-G-Y. Can you explain what that feels like?
Sure. Feeling groggy means you're confused, slow, and sleepy. You're not fully awake yet. Your brain feels like it is full of fog. For example, you might say, I felt groggy all morning because I didn't sleep well last night.
To avoid feeling groggy, experts say you should stretch immediately. Stretch. S-T-R-E-T-C-H. This means to extend your arms and legs to loosen your muscles. It gets the blood flowing.
That feels so good. A big stretch really helps. After that, the next habit is something that divides people. Some people do it, some people never do it. It's making the bed.
Oh, I'm a firm believer in making the bed. It means arranging the sheets and blankets neatly after you get out of it. There's a famous speech by a Navy admiral who said that if you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It gives you a small sense of pride.
I've heard that speech. It encourages you to do another task and another. It kickstarts your productivity. That's a great compound verb, kickstart. K-I-C-K-S-T-A-R-T.
To kickstart something means to make something start happening quickly or successfully. You want to kickstart your metabolism, for example, by drinking water.
That's huge. Hydration is key. But let's be honest, after water, most people want caffeine. They head to the kitchen to brew coffee or steep tea.
True, and while the coffee is brewing, many people move on to their hygiene routine. Hygiene. hygiene. This refers to the practice of keeping yourself and your surroundings clean to prevent illness.
This includes things like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, or washing your face. Lately, I've been hearing a lot about skincare routines too. It seems like part of modern hygiene.
Absolutely. Once you're clean and awake, you have to choose your outfit. This leads us to the word wardrobe. Wardrobe. Your wardrobe is the collection of clothes that you own.
Sometimes I stare at my wardrobe for 10 minutes because I can't decide what to wear. It depends on the weather and my schedule. If I have an important meeting, I need to look sharp.
Looking sharp means looking professional and well-dressed. After you're dressed, it's time for the most important meal of the day, breakfast. But we want a specific kind of breakfast. We want it to be nutritious.
That's a long word. Let's spell it carefully. Nutritious. Nutritious.
Nutritious food contains substances that your body needs to stay healthy and grow. A donut is delicious, but it's not nutritious. Oatmeal with fruit and eggs is nutritious.
I usually just grab a banana and run. I'm always in a rush.
Being in a rush is a common state for the morning. It means you're hurrying because you don't have enough time. This is a great transition point in our day. We have woken up, washed, dressed, and eaten. Now we have to leave the house.
Or for some people, just walk to the next room. But yes, generally this is when the day truly begins. We're moving from the personal morning routine to the professional world.
Exactly. And that movement from home to work is what we call the commute.
I have a love-hate relationship with that word. Let's teach it. Commute. Commute.
To commute means to travel some distance between your home and your place of work on a regular basis. You can commute by car, by train, by bus, or even by bicycle.
My commute takes about 45 minutes. It can be very tiring, especially during rush hour.
Rush hour. This is a crucial phrase for daily life. Rushhour.
Rush hour is the time of day when traffic is at its heaviest because everyone is going to or coming from work. Usually, it is around 8 in the morning and 5 or 6 in the evening.
Being stuck in rush hour is frustrating. That is why some people choose to carpool. Carpool.
To carpool means to share a car to a destination, usually with coworkers or friends, so you can split the cost of gas and reduce traffic. It is very eco-friendly.
It is, but you know, Daniel, the workplace has changed a lot recently. Many people now have a remote job.
Remote. R-E-M-O-T-E. This means doing your work from a location other than the central office, usually from home. If you work remotely, your commute is just walking from your bed to your desk.
That is the dream for many people. But whether you are at home or in an office, once you start working, you need to manage your time. This brings us to the concept of a schedule or a shift.
A shift. S-H-I-F-T. A shift is a set period of time during which a person works. For example, a nurse might work the night shift. Most office workers work the day shift, often called a 9 to 5.
Right. And once your shift starts, the goal is productivity. Productivity.
This is a big word. It basically measures how efficient you are at completing tasks. Everyone wants to boost their productivity. A great way to do that is to prioritize. Let's spell that. Prioritize. P-R-I-O-R-I-T-I-Z-E.
To prioritize means to treat something as more important than other things. When you get to work, you look at your to-do list and you prioritize the most urgent tasks.
For instance, if you have a deadline today, that task is a priority. Deadline, D-E-A-D-L-I-N-E. That sounds a little scary, doesn't it?
It does sound intense. A deadline is the latest time or date by which something should be completed. If you miss a deadline, you might get in trouble with your boss.
So, to meet the deadline, you have to focus. Some people think they're good at multitasking. M-U-L-T-I-S-K-I-N-G.
Multitasking is the act of dealing with more than one task at the same time, like answering emails while talking on the phone. But honestly, Daniel, studies show that multitasking actually lowers productivity. It's better to focus on one thing at a time.
I am guilty of trying to multitask too much. I end up doing 3 things poorly instead of 1 thing perfectly. I need to work on that.
We all do. Another important part of the work routine is interacting with the people around you, your colleagues. Colleagues.
A colleague is a person with whom one works, mostly in a profession or business. You might also hear the word coworker. They mean almost the same thing.
Yes, you might have a quick chat with a colleague by the water cooler or attend a meeting with them. But working nonstop isn't good either. You need to take a break.
A break, B-R-E-A-K. This is a short pause in work or activity. You might take a coffee break or a lunch break. In many countries, taking a break is legally required.
It helps you recharge. If you work for 8 hours straight without a break, you will burn out. Burnout is a phrasal verb that means to become extremely tired or sick by working too hard for a long time.
We definitely want to avoid burnout. So, a healthy daily routine includes work, but it also includes rest.
Exactly. So we have covered the morning chaos, the commute, and the structure of the workday. We've talked about prioritizing tasks and dealing with colleagues.
It feels like we've lived half a day already, but there are so many specific situations we haven't touched on yet. I think it would be really helpful to see these words in action, to hear how people actually use them in real conversation.
I agree completely. Definitions are great, but context is king. I think it's time we act this out. What do you think about doing some role plays?
I love role plays. It gives our listeners a chance to hear the rhythm and flow of the language. What kind of scenarios should we do?
Well, since we just talked about the morning struggle and the workday, let's create 2 different scenes. One should be about a morning where everything goes wrong, and the other should be about a busy situation at the office.
That sounds fun. A chaotic morning is very relatable. I think everyone has had a day where the alarm didn't go off.
Precisely. So for our listeners, pay attention to how we use the words we just taught you. Listen for snooze, rush, deadline, and colleague.
Shall we get into character?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm ready. In this first scenario, let's imagine it's a Monday morning. The alarm did not go off, or maybe you just didn't hear it. You're late for work and the house is total chaos. I'll play your calm roommate, and you're the panicked person waking up late.
That sounds like a nightmare, but it is a very realistic one. Okay, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1, action. Oh no, Daniel! Daniel, wake up. What time is it? Please tell me the clock on the wall is broken.
Whoa, calm down, Sophia. It's 8:15. Why are you shouting?
8:15? I was supposed to be at the office 15 minutes ago. I completely overslept. I must have turned off the alarm in my sleep. Where are my glasses? I can't find anything.
They're right there on the nightstand. You need to relax. Do you want me to make you some toast? You can't leave on an empty stomach.
I don't have time for toast. I have to skip breakfast. I have a presentation at 9 with the regional manager. If I'm late, I'm toast. Have you seen my blue blazer? The one with the gold buttons?
It's hanging on the back of the chair in the living room. Look, you're running around like a headless chicken. Just breathe. You can still make it if you leave in 5 minutes. Do you have your car keys?
Keys. Keys. Oh, thank goodness. They're in my purse. Okay, I'm brushing my teeth and putting on my shoes at the same time. This is the most hectic morning of my life. I promise I will never hit snooze again.
Good luck. Drive safe. And scene. Wow, Sophia, that was intense. My heart is actually beating faster just from listening to you.
I felt the stress too. That's a situation nobody wants to be in, but it happens to the best of us. There were some really great vocabulary words and idioms in that short scene. I think we should break them down for our listeners.
Definitely. The first keyword you used was overslept. Let's spell that out clearly. Overslept. O-V-E-R-S-L-E-P-T.
This is the past tense of oversleep. It means to sleep longer than you intended to, usually meaning you wake up late for something important. It's different from sleeping in.
That is an important distinction. Can you explain the difference?
Sure. Sleeping in is something you do on purpose, usually on the weekend. For example, it is Sunday, so I am going to sleep in until 10. It is relaxing. But oversleeping is accidental and usually negative. It implies you made a mistake.
That makes sense. So you overslept and then you said, I have to skip breakfast. To skip. S-K-I-P.
To skip means to not do something that you usually do or should do. If you skip a meal, you do not eat it. You can also skip a class or skip a meeting. In the role play, I skipped breakfast because I had no time.
Exactly. And then I used a very funny idiom to describe how you were acting. I said, you are running around like a headless chicken.
That is a very visual idiom. It sounds a bit violent, but it is very common in English. It means to move around in a panic without thinking clearly, doing many things quickly but not efficiently.
Yes, imagine a chicken running without a head. It has no direction. We use this when someone is stressed and disorganized. For example, we have guests arriving in an hour, and I'm running around like a headless chicken trying to clean the house.
I love that one. I also used a slang phrase. I said, if I'm late, I'm toast.
You did. And you didn't mean a piece of bread. When you say I'm toast, it means I'm in big trouble or I'm ruined.
Yes, it is informal. You might hear a student say, I didn't study for the exam, I'm toast. It basically means the situation is hopeless or you are about to be punished.
We also use the word hectic. Hectic. You said, this is the most hectic morning of my life.
Hectic is a great adjective. It describes a situation that is full of activity, excitement, or confusion. It's the opposite of calm. A busy schedule is hectic. A crowded train station is hectic.
I think modern life is just generally hectic. And speaking of hectic, that brings us to the transition into our next phase of the day. In the role play, you were rushing to work. So let's imagine you actually made it to the office.
Okay, I arrived. I'm maybe a little sweaty and out of breath, but I'm there. Now, the challenge changes. It isn't about getting dressed anymore. It's about dealing with the workload.
Exactly. The workplace has its own specific language. It's often more formal, but coworkers also use a lot of idioms to describe how busy they are.
So, for the second role play, let's change the dynamic. I will be the boss or the manager, and you can be the employee who is working very hard.
Sounds good. I'm ready to be a hard-working employee. What's the context?
Let's say it's Friday afternoon. You've been working all week on a big project, and I'm coming to check on your progress. You're tired, but you're trying to finish everything before the weekend.
Got it. Friday afternoon energy. Let's do it.
Hi, Daniel. Do you have a minute? I wanted to check in on the quarterly report. I know the deadline is Monday morning, so I was hoping you could send me a draft before you leave today.
Oh, hi, Sophia. Ideally, yes, I would love to get that to you. But to be honest, I'm completely swamped right now. I've been trying to finish the data analysis for the last 3 hours, but the software keeps crashing.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know this week has been demanding. Is there anything I can take off your plate? Maybe I can ask Sarah to handle the client emails.
That would be a lifesaver, actually. I feel like I've been burning the candle at both ends lately. If Sarah can handle the emails, I can focus specifically on the report. I just need to knuckle down for another 2 hours.
Okay, I'll talk to Sarah. Don't stay too late, though. You look exhausted. Once you finish the draft, just send it over and call it a day. You deserve a break.
Thanks, Sophia. I appreciate it. I'll get this done and then head home.
And scene. Great acting, Daniel. You really sounded tired.
I felt tired. Just talking about work on a Friday afternoon makes me sleepy. But we used some incredibly common business English phrases there. These are essential for anyone working in an English-speaking environment.
They really are. The first one you used is one of my favorites to describe a heavy workload. You said, I'm swamped. Let's spell that carefully. Swamped. S-W-A-M-P-E-D.
Think of a swamp. It's a wet, muddy area of land where you can get stuck. If you're swamped, you're stuck in work. You have so much to do that you can't move or do anything else.
Exactly. It's a synonym for being overwhelmed. You can say, I can't come to the party tonight. I'm swamped with homework. It's a very polite way to say no to an invitation, too.
Then you asked me, is there anything I can take off your plate? This is a metaphorical plate, right?
Yes. Imagine your job is a dinner plate. The tasks are the food. If your plate is too full, the food falls off. So to take something off someone's plate means to remove a task or responsibility from them to help them.
It's a very kind thing to offer. If you see a colleague struggling, you can say, you look busy. Can I take anything off your plate? It shows you're a team player.
Then you used an idiom that paints a very clear picture. You said, I've been burning the candle at both ends.
This is a classic idiom. Let's visualize it. You have a candle. Usually, you light one end. If you light both ends, the candle burns twice as fast and disappears quickly.
So, burning the candle at both ends means you are working early in the morning and late at night. You are not getting enough rest. You are using up all your energy.
If you do this for too long, you will definitely burn out, which is a word we learned earlier. It's important to recognize when you are burning the candle at both ends and slow down.
I agree. In the role play, you also said you needed to knuckle down. Knuckle. This has a silent K, K-N-O-C-K-L-E. Then down, D-O-W-N.
Your knuckles are the bony parts of your fingers. To knuckle down means to start working very hard and seriously. It implies focusing intensely.
It's similar to the phrase buckle down. You might say, okay, break time is over. Time to knuckle down and finish this essay.
Finally, the best phrase of the workday. You told me to call it a day.
This is music to every employee's ears. To call it a day means to decide to stop working for the rest of the day. You are declaring that the work is finished or that you are too tired to continue.
You can use this in other situations too, not just work. If you're practicing a sport and everyone is tired, the coach might say, okay team, good practice, let's call it a day.
It marks the transition from the productivity phase of your routine to the relaxation phase, and that is a very important transition to make. You need to be able to switch off your work brain and switch on your personal brain.
That is often the hardest part of the daily routine, leaving the stress at the office.
Absolutely. So, we have survived the alarm, we have navigated the commute, and we have handled a stressful day at the office. Now, the sun is going down. The workday is over. What happens next?
This is the time for social life, hobbies, chores, and eventually sleep. But before we get to sleep, we need to talk about how we discuss our routine with friends. Because, let's be honest, we complain about our routines a lot.
We do. Complaining about being busy is a national sport in many countries, but there are also cultural differences in how people view their daily schedules.
That is true. In some cultures, being busy is seen as a status symbol. If you are not busy, people think you are not important. In other cultures, resting is prioritized.
That is a fascinating topic. I think we should explore the social aspect of daily routines. How do we talk about our day when we're out with friends? How do we make plans?
That sounds great. It is less about the vocabulary of doing things and more about the vocabulary of relating to people.
Exactly. So let's move into the evening. The work whistle has blown. You have called it a day. You're walking out of the office. Where are you going?
Well, if it's a Friday, like in our role play, I'm probably heading to a happy hour or a dinner with friends.
Happy hour. That is a fun concept. Let's quickly define that before we move on. Happy hour. Happyhour.
It is a period time, usually in the early evening, when drinks or food are sold at a reduced price at a bar or restaurant. It's a very common part of the after-work routine in English-speaking countries.
It is a time to unwind. Unwind. U-N-W-I-N-D.
To unwind means to relax after a period of work or tension. It's like a coil that is tight and you let it loose. You can unwind by reading, watching TV, or hanging out with friends.
Hanging out is the perfect phrasal verb for the evening. It means to spend time socially with no specific purpose, just being together.
So, imagine we are hanging out. One of the most common questions you will hear is, how was your day?
It's a simple question, but the answer can be complex. You don't want to just say, good. You want to give details using the words we have learned today.
You could say, it was hectic. I overslept and had to skip breakfast.
Or, it was exhausting. I was swamped all afternoon, but I managed to meet my deadline.
See, all the pieces are coming together. You are now able to tell the story of your day.
Precisely. Now, Daniel, I want to ask you a question about the evening routine. We talked about night owls and early birds before. Do you have a second wind in the evening?
Oh, that's a good expression. A second wind. S-E-C-O-N-D-W-I-N-D.
A second wind is a return of energy after being tired. You might feel exhausted at 6 p.m., but then at 8 p.m., you suddenly feel energetic again.
I definitely get a second wind. Around 9 p.m., I suddenly want to clean my apartment or read a book. It's annoying because it keeps me awake.
That can be a problem for your sleep schedule. If you get a second wind too late, you might suffer from insomnia. Insomnia. INSOMNIA.
Insomnia is the inability to sleep. It's a very frustrating condition. And it ruins your routine for the next day because you wake up feeling groggy again. It's a vicious cycle.
A vicious cycle. That means one problem causes another problem, which makes the first problem worse. You don't sleep, so you drink coffee, so you can't sleep again.
Exactly. So the key to a good daily routine is actually a good evening routine, putting away the phone, dimming the lights, and calming down.
I couldn't agree more. This leads us perfectly into the cultural side of things. We've talked about the mechanics of the day, the verbs and the nouns, but how does the concept of time vary across cultures?
That is deep. In English, we often say time is money. We view time as a resource that can be spent, saved, or wasted.
Yes, we spend time, we waste time, we save time. These are financial verbs. It shows how much we value efficiency in English-speaking cultures.
I think that's why we have so many words about being late or on time. Punctuality is a big deal.
Punctuality. Punctuality. This is the quality of being on time. If you are punctual, you are polite. If you are late, it can be considered rude.
But in our role play, you were late.
I was, and notice how panicked I was. That panic comes from the cultural pressure to be punctual. If I lived in a culture where time was more flexible, maybe I wouldn't have been running around like a headless chicken.
That is a very good point. So your daily routine is not just about you, it's about the society you live in.
Exactly. When you're learning English, you're also learning the culture of time management. You're learning that 9 o'clock usually means exactly 9 o'clock, not 9:15.
Unless it's a party. Then you can be fashionably late.
True, that's a fun exception. Fashionably late. Fashionably. This means arriving a little bit late to a social event to appear busy or popular.
But never do this for a business meeting.
Never. That would be a disaster. Okay, Daniel, we have covered the morning, the workday, the evening, and even the cultural philosophy of time.
We have, and we've acted out the stress of missing an alarm and the pressure of a deadline. I think our listeners have a huge toolkit of vocabulary now.
I think so too. From snooze to call it a day, we have walked through the entire 24-hour cycle.
But we're not quite done. We still need to help our listeners socialize with this topic. We mentioned happy hour, but what about making excuses or declining invitations because of your routine?
Oh, that's practical. How to say no nicely.
Exactly. And we also need to review everything to make sure it sticks.
Repetition is the mother of learning.
It certainly is. So let's prepare to wrap up our day and our lesson with some social tips and a big review.
I'm ready. Let's head into the final stretch.
The final stretch. That means the last part of a race or an activity. We are almost at the finish line.
I like that image. The finish line is in sight. But before we cross it, we need to address something very practical. We have learned how to describe our day, but how do we use this information to manage our social lives? Because let's be real, our daily routines often clash with our friends' plans.
That is so true. One of the most common social situations is having to say no to an invitation because your routine is too busy. You don't want to be rude, but you also need to stick to your schedule.
Exactly. Imagine a friend asks you to go to the cinema on a Tuesday night, but you know you have to wake up at 6 in the morning for work. You can't just say, "No, I have a routine." That sounds a bit like a robot.
Right. We need softer, more polite phrases. A fantastic idiom for this situation is to take a rain check. Let's spell that. Rain check. RAINCHECK.
This comes from baseball. If a game was canceled because of rain, spectators got a ticket for a future game. In social life, it means you cannot accept the invitation now, but you would like to do it another time.
So you could say, I would love to go, but I have an early start tomorrow. Can I take a rain check? This shows you're interested, just busy.
Another great phrase if your calendar is full is to say you are tied up. Tied up. TIEDUP.
This does not mean you are physically tied with a rope. It means you are occupied or busy with a commitment you cannot escape. For instance, I can't meet for lunch. I am tied up in meetings all afternoon.
Or if you want to sound very professional and slightly dramatic, you can say you are booked solid. Booked, B-O-O-K-E-D. Solid, S-O-L-I-D.
Booked solid means you have absolutely no free time. Your schedule has zero gaps. It is a strong way to tell people that you are unavailable.
On the flip side, sometimes we want to ask people about their routines to make conversation. Asking, "What do you do every day?" is a little boring.
It is. A more natural way to ask about someone's daily life is, what does your typical day look like? This invites them to tell a story rather than just a list of tasks.
Or you can ask, "What are you up to these days?" This is a very casual, friendly way to ask about someone's current activities, work, or hobbies.
And if you are trying to find a time to meet someone, you might ask, when are you free? Or what is your schedule like next week?
That word schedule is tricky. In American English, we say schedule with a K sound. In British English, you often hear schedule. Both are correct.
Yes, don't let the pronunciation confuse you. Whether it is a schedule or a schedule, the important thing is that you have some downtime. Downtime, Downtime.
Downtime is another word for free time or relaxation time. It is the time when you are not working or being productive. It is essential for mental health.
You might tell a friend, I've been working so hard, I really need some downtime this weekend. It implies you are going to do nothing, and that's a good thing.
This brings us back to the cultural point we touched on earlier. In some English-speaking cultures, people feel guilty about having downtime. They feel they always need to be productive.
Yes, we call this the hustle culture. Hustle, Hustle. To hustle means to work extremely hard, often quickly and aggressively, to achieve success.
Hustle culture glorifies being busy. You'll hear people bragging about how little sleep they got or how many hours they worked. They wear their exhaustion like a badge of honor.
But I think that's changing. More people are talking about work-life balance. This is the equilibrium between your professional life and your personal life.
A good work-life balance means you have a challenging job, but you also have time for family, hobbies, and sleep. It is the ultimate goal of a good daily routine.
Absolutely. So when you're socializing, it's okay to say you're busy, but it's also very cool to say, I'm taking the weekend off to relax. People respect that more and more.
I certainly respect it. I think I'm going to schedule some serious downtime for myself after this recording.
You deserve it, Daniel, but not just yet. We have one final crucial task to complete. We have covered a massive amount of vocabulary today.
We have. From the moment the alarm rings to the moment we fall asleep, we have dissected the English language of daily life.
To make sure these words stick in your long-term memory, we are going to do a vocabulary masterclass. We have selected the top 10 most useful words and phrases from this lesson.
We're going to go back and forth. I'll give you the word, Sophia will define it, and we'll remind you why it's important. Are you ready for the rapid-fire review?
I was born ready. Let's start with number 1.
Word number 1 is snooze. S-N-O-O-Z-E.
Snooze is the button on your alarm clock that stops the sound for a short time so you can sleep longer. But be careful, if you snooze too much, you might be late.
Word number 2 is groggy. G-R-O-G-G-Y.
This describes how you feel when you wake up and are not fully alert. You are confused and slow. A cold shower or coffee usually fixes this.
Word number 3 is commute. C-O-M-M-U-T-E.
This is your journey to work. Whether you drive, take the bus, or ride a train, your commute is the travel time between home and the office.
Word number 4 is rush hour. R-U-S-H-H-O-U-R.
This is the busiest time of day for traffic. It usually happens twice a day, morning and evening, when everyone is commuting. It is a test of patience.
Word number 5 is prioritize. P-R-I-O-R-I-T-I-Z-E.
This is a verb. It means to decide which tasks are most important and do them first. It is the secret to good time management.
Word number 6 is deadline. D-E-A-D-L-I-N-E.
A deadline is the final time by which a job or task must be finished. Missing a deadline is usually a bad idea in the professional world.
Word number 7 is swamped. S-W-A-M-P-E-D.
This is a great adjective to use when you are incredibly busy. If you're swamped, you are drowning in work and have no free time.
Word number 8 is burnout. B-U-R-N-O-U-T.
This is a state of emotional and physical exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. It happens when you work too hard for too long without a break.
Word number 9 is second wind. S-E-C-O-N-D-W-I-N-D.
This is when you suddenly get a burst of fresh energy after feeling tired. It often happens in the evening or late in a sports game.
And finally, phrase number 10, call it a day. C-A-L-L-I-T, a day.
This is an idiom used to express that you are finished working. You're stopping the task and going home to relax.
Wow, looking back at that list, that's some high-level vocabulary. If you use these words in your next conversation, you're going to sound so natural.
Definitely. These are the words that native speakers use every single day. They are the building blocks of routine conversation.
Now, we want to hear from you. We've done a lot of talking, but we want to know about your routine.
Yes, here's our question of the day. Are you an early bird or a night owl? And what is the one part of your daily routine that you absolutely cannot live without?
Maybe it's your morning coffee, maybe it's a run in the park, or maybe it's reading a book before bed.
Let us know in the comments below. We love reading your answers. It's amazing to see how different everyone's lives are around the world.
And try to use one of the new vocabulary words in your comment. See if you can use groggy or second wind to describe your habits.
That's a great challenge. Well, Daniel, I think we have successfully navigated the day.
We have. It's been a pleasure walking through this routine with you, Sophia. And to our listeners, thank you for spending a part of your day with us.
We know you're busy, maybe even swamped, so we appreciate you prioritizing this lesson.
If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe to Pink English, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson.
We have so many more exciting topics coming up to help you master English. Until next time, I'm Sophia.
And I'm Daniel.
Have a productive day and keep practicing.
Bye, everyone. Call it a day.